The year is 1963. A packed theater erupts in laughter as Paula Prentiss, radiant and razor-sharp, delivers a comedic timing that feels both effortless and electric. Her performance in Man's Favorite Sport cements her as Hollywood's rising star, a blend of charm, wit, and undeniable presence. But as the applause fades, so does her trajectory. By the late 1970s, Paula Prentiss vanishes from the spotlight, leaving behind a trail of questions. What happened to the woman who once lit up the screen? Paula Prentiss was born on March 4, 1938, in San Antonio, Texas, into a family that valued creativity and education. Her father, a military officer, and her mother, a former concert singer, nurtured her artistic inclinations from a young age. Growing up in a household filled with music and performance, Prentiss found her passion for acting early on. She honed her skills at the University of Texas, where she studied drama and graduated in 1959. It was during her college years that she first took to the stage, captivating audiences with her vibrant energy and comedic flair. Her breakthrough came soon after, when she landed a role in the Broadway production of The Country Girl in 1950. However, it was her mesmerizing performance in the 1962 film Man's Favorite Sport, alongside Rock Hudson, that propelled her into the spotlight. Audiences were entranced by her ability to blend humor with charm, setting the stage for a successful career in Hollywood. The film showcased her impressive comedic timing and established her as a leading lady in the industry, earning critical acclaim and a dedicated fan base. Prentiss's rise to fame was marked by a series of iconic roles throughout the 1960s, including memorable performances in The Stepford Wives, 1975, and What's New Pussycat, 1965. Each role allowed her to showcase her unique talent for combining wit and warmth, a signature that would define her career. She became a sought-after actress, known for her ability to bring complex female characters to life against the backdrop of a rapidly changing cultural landscape. In an era where female roles were often secondary, Prentiss carved out a niche for herself, blending intelligence with humor in a way that resonated with audiences. Her work not only entertained but also reflected the evolving attitudes toward women in society. As she navigated the challenges of Hollywood, Paula Prentiss emerged not just as an actress, but as a symbol of the shifting paradigms in film and television, where the power of performance and personality began to reshape the landscape of entertainment. With each project, she solidified her place in cinematic history, leaving a lasting impact that continues to inspire future generations of actors. As the 1960s unfolded, Paula Prentiss emerged as a formidable force in Hollywood, captivating audiences with her unique blend of charm and wit. The pinnacle of her career can be traced to the iconic film Man's Favorite Sport, released in 1964. Here, she starred opposite rock and roll comedian Rock Hudson, delivering a performance that showcased her impeccable comedic timing and undeniable chemistry with the leading man. Audiences were drawn not just to her beauty, but to her ability to weave humor into her characters, making each role memorable. Critics lauded her performance, and the film itself became a defining piece of the 1960s comedy landscape. In 1965, Prentiss continued her ascent with a pivotal role in The World of Henry Orient, where she played the enchanting and slightly eccentric character of Gil. This film was a departure from traditional narratives, shining a light on the lives of two teenage girls infatuated with a much older man. Prentiss's portrayal was both playful and poignant, earning her widespread acclaim and solidifying her place as a leading lady in Hollywood. Collaborations would also play a critical role in her success. Teaming up with director and writer George Axelrod, Prentiss became part of a creative duo that brought forth some of the most beloved comedies of the era. Their synergy was evident in films like The Trouble with Angels, 1966, where she portrayed a spirited nun navigating the challenges of adolescence alongside co-star Hayley Mills. Their performances resonated with audiences, transforming the film into a cult classic and showcasing Prentiss's versatility beyond mere comedic roles. As the decade progressed, Prentiss's career soared with the release of Catch-22 in 1970. Adapted from Joseph Heller's groundbreaking novel, the film featured an ensemble cast, including Alan Arkin and Martin Balsam, with Prentiss playing the role of Nurse Dunbar. Her ability to bring depth to a character amidst the chaos of war proved her range as an actress. Despite the film's mixed reviews, Prentiss's performance stood out, further cementing her status in the industry. However, it was her television appearances that also contributed significantly to her legacy. In the late 1970s, she hosted several game shows and made guest appearances on popular series, displaying her adaptability and broadening her appeal. She became a familiar face on television screens across America, reinforcing her status as a household name. Throughout her career, Prentiss received several accolades, including a Golden Globe nomination for her work in the world of Henry Orient. She was celebrated not only for her talent, but for her ability to defy conventional roles for women in Hollywood, bringing charisma and intelligence to every character she portrayed. Her impact extended beyond the silver screen, inspiring a generation of actresses who followed in her footsteps. In retrospect, the peak of Paula Prentiss's career is marked by her outstanding performances in a series of films that left an indelible mark on the comedy genre. With a career spanning decades, her legacy continues to influence and entertain, reminding us of the brilliance of one of Hollywood's finest talents. By the late 1960s, Paula Prentiss stood at the zenith of her career, a luminous figure in Hollywood's glittering firmament. Yet, as the decade drew to a close, a series of subtle yet seismic shifts began to alter the trajectory of her public life. The turning point in her career can be traced to a confluence of personal choices, industry dynamics, and the evolving cultural landscape of the time. In 1969, Prentiss starred in The Mad Room, a psychological thriller that, while showcasing her versatility, failed to resonate with audiences as her earlier comedies had. This marked the beginning of a gradual shift away from the light-hearted roles that had defined her rise to fame. Cut to film clip of The Mad Room around the same time. Prentiss began to prioritize her personal life over her career, a decision that would prove pivotal. Her marriage to actor Richard Benjamin, whom she had wed in 1961, became a central focus. The couple's desire to start a family led to a conscious step back from the relentless pace of Hollywood. Show photo of Paula Prentiss and Richard Benjamin in 1970. Prentiss gave birth to their first child, a moment that reshaped her priorities. The demands of motherhood, coupled with a growing disillusionment with the industry's shifting priorities, led to a noticeable reduction in her on-screen appearances. Display newspaper headline: Paula Prentiss welcomes first child. The early 1970s also saw a broader transformation in Hollywood as the studio system gave way to a new era of filmmaking. The rise of the new Hollywood movement, with its focus on gritty realism and anti-establishment narratives, left less room for the screwball comedies and romantic farces that had been Prentiss's forte. Cut to montage of 1970s film posters. Despite her talent, Prentiss found herself at odds with the changing tastes of audiences and producers. Her final major film role came in 1978's The Jeep Detective, a comedic homage to classic noir that, while well received, failed to reignite her career. Cut to film clip of The Jeep Detective. By the late 1970s, Prentiss had largely withdrawn from the public eye, her name fading from headlines as she embraced a quieter life. Her decision to step away was not one of defeat, but of deliberate choice, a testament to her commitment to family and her own well-being. Show early photo of Paula Prentiss. In retrospect, The turning point in Paula Prentiss's career was not a single moment, but a series of calculated decisions and external forces that converged to reshape her path. Her disappearance from the public eye was not a fall from grace, but a conscious retreat, a reminder that even the brightest stars may choose to dim their light in pursuit of a different kind of fulfillment. At 85, Paula Prentiss sits before us, her eyes sparkling with the same vivacity that once lit up the silver screen. Her voice, though softened by time, carries the weight of a life lived in the spotlight. For decades, whispers and speculations have swirled around her sudden retreat from Hollywood's glare. Now, in a rare moment of candor, she reveals the truth behind her disappearance. "It wasn't a single moment," she begins, her fingers tracing the edge of her chair. "It was a series of choices, each one leading me further away from the chaos and closer to myself." By 1970, at the height of her fame, Prentiss had starred in over 20 films, including the critically acclaimed Where the Boys Are, 1960, and the comedic gem Catch-22, 1970. Yet, as the decade turned, she began to question the cost of her success. "I was exhausted," she admits, her gaze steady. The constant pressure to perform, to be perfect, it took a toll. Show early photo of subject, her decision to step away was not without consequence. In 1971, she turned down a role in The Sting, a film that would go on to win 7 Oscars. Cut to film clip. "I don't regret it," she says firmly. "I needed to reclaim my life." Instead, she focused on her family, her marriage to actor Richard Benjamin, enduring as one of Hollywood's rare success stories. Display newspaper headline today. As she reflects on her journey, Prentiss speaks of balance, a lesson she believes is often overlooked in the pursuit of fame. "Success isn't just about what you achieve," she muses. "It's about who you become along the way." Her revelation is not one of regret, but of resilience. Paula Prentiss, the woman who once defined an era, chose herself over the spotlight and, in doing so, found a legacy far greater than any film could capture. As the curtain fell on the 1960s, Paula Prentiss, once a radiant fixture of Hollywood's golden age, began to fade from the public eye. Her departure from the film industry was not abrupt, but rather a gradual retreat, marked by a series of deliberate choices that prioritized personal fulfillment over professional acclaim. By the early 1970s, Prentiss had all but vanished from the silver screen, leaving behind a legacy of comedic brilliance and a trail of unanswered questions. What became of the woman whose laughter had once echoed through packed theaters? Our investigation reveals a life rich in purpose, far removed from the glare of the spotlight. In 1971, Prentiss married director Richard Benjamin, a union that would become a cornerstone of her post-Hollywood existence. Together, they formed a partnership that transcended the boundaries of romance, evolving into a creative and emotional alliance. While Benjamin continued to direct, Prentiss shifted her focus inward, dedicating herself to family and personal growth. The couple welcomed 2 children, Ross and Prentiss. In the mid-1970s, a period marked by quiet domesticity and a deliberate distancing from the pressures of fame. Yet, Prentiss's creative spirit remained undimmed. She channeled her energies into writing, penning a memoir in the late 1980s that offered a candid glimpse into her life both on and off the screen. Though the manuscript remains unpublished, its existence hints at a woman determined to reclaim her narrative on her own terms. The 1990s saw Prentiss re-emerge, albeit briefly, in select stage productions and television appearances. Her performance in the 1994 Broadway revival of The Sisters Rosenzweig was met with critical acclaim, a testament to her enduring talent. Yet these forays into the public eye were fleeting, as Prentiss consistently prioritized her privacy and well-being. In recent years, Prentiss has become a fixture in philanthropic circles, advocating for causes close to her heart, including mental health awareness and arts education. Her involvement with organizations such as the Screen Actors Guild Foundation underscores a commitment to giving back to the community that once celebrated her. Today at 85, Paula Prentiss resides in a secluded home in Los Angeles, surrounded by mementos of a life fully lived. Her days are spent in quiet reflection, punctuated by visits from family and close friends. Though the cameras no longer follow her, her impact endures. A reminder that a life out of the spotlight can be just as luminous as one bathed in its glow. As the curtain fell on the 1960s, Paula Prentiss stepped away from the glare of Hollywood's spotlight, but her legacy remained etched into the fabric of cinema. Her influence, though subtle, has resonated across generations, shaping the trajectory of film in ways both seen and unseen. Prentiss's on-screen presence, a blend of effervescent charm and sharp wit, redefined the leading lady archetype. In an era dominated by the sultry sirens and demure ingenues, she carved out a space for a new kind of heroine, intelligent, quirky, and unapologetically herself. This shift was not merely a personal triumph, but a cultural one, paving the way for more complex, multidimensional female characters in film. Her performances in classics like Where the Boys Are, 1960, and Catch-22, 1970, showcased her range, from comedic timing to dramatic depth, leaving an indelible mark on audiences and peers alike. Directors and screenwriters of the time, such as Mike Nichols and Buck Henry, often cited her ability to elevate material, her naturalism breaking through the artifice of studio-era filmmaking. But Prentiss's impact extends beyond her roles. Her decision to step away from the industry at the height of her career, a move that puzzled many, has since been re-evaluated as a bold assertion of autonomy in an era when actresses were often treated as commodities. This act of defiance, though quiet, echoed through the decades, inspiring later generations of women in film to prioritize their well-being over the relentless demands of stardom. Her influence can be traced in the careers of actresses like Diane Keaton and Meryl Streep, who similarly balanced charisma with complexity, and in the work of filmmakers like Greta Gerwig, who have championed stories centered on women's inner lives. Even in her absence, Prentiss's spirit lingered in the industry's collective memory. Her name became synonymous with a certain kind of authenticity, a reminder that stardom need not come at the expense of self. As we revisit her work today, it's clear that Paula Prentiss was not just a product of her time, but a pioneer who helped redefine it. Her legacy is not confined to the films she left behind, but lives on in the countless artists she inspired, a testament to the enduring power of her talent and vision. As we reflect on Paula Prentiss's journey, we see a star whose light, though dim by time, continues to cast a warm glow on the cinematic landscape. Her departure from Hollywood's glare in the late 1960s was not a retreat, but a deliberate step into the shadows, where her influence persisted, quietly shaping the industry she once dazzled. Prentiss's performances, marked by their vivacity and depth, left an indelible mark, inspiring generations of actors and filmmakers. Her story is a testament to the enduring power of artistry, even in silence. From her radiant rise in the 1960s to her enigmatic absence, Prentiss's legacy is a mosaic of moments, each frame, each role, a piece of a larger portrait of talent and resilience. Her influence, though subtle, resonates, a reminder that true artistry transcends the spotlight, enduring in the hearts of those who witness it.